Good evening, everyone. How are we?
All good. Gary?
In.
Jeff not available.
Jeff is out. I mean, he's out tonight. Yeah.
Do you have any clarity on your side?
Well, we've got till 5 p.m. tomorrow to make a decision. So just now with Will and Gary back healthy, I think it kind of made sense for us to play Jeff these last few games with those guys, out and then kind of just coming back. So we'll, I know Bobby's flying in here shortly, and we'll sit down tomorrow, and before 5 o'clock we'll make our decision on what we're going to do.
Is it a vote?
Listen, we'll like always make the best decision for the organization, in totality, for sure. Yeah.
Nick, the Celtics have talked a lot, not only this year, but over the years, how you guys challenge them. Obviously, you have good personnel to do that, but defensively, how have the way you've tried to guard them evolved over the last couple of years?
Well, it's had to evolve because they continue to evolve in their skill sets and what they're doing, and things like that, and personnel. Etc. So it's just kind of that always, you see what's in front of you 3 years ago and you got a plan, but 2 years ago it's different. And this year, it's even different, it'll be different even than it was earlier in the season tonight as well. And it's a super big challenge, as you know. They're so good in so many areas offensively. They'll beat you in transition. They're really good from the perimeter. Got so many guys that can take it off the bounce to the front of the rim and score. Got bigs that can shoot. And then they got some guys they can just give the ball to and say, I step back and hit a three, right? So there's a lot there you have to try to dissect and get ready for. Let's see how it goes here tonight.
And all that progress you mentioned there, what has that forced you guys to do in the first two matchups against them to try to keep up with all that?
Well, it's so hard always in this season to kind of see what you're getting out of each matchup, because I think, I go back and put the games on and like they're missing three guys, we're missing three guys. I mean, it really changes a lot, depending on who's out there. But we have, we like to think that one of our strengths is our depth at wing defenders when we got them all ready to go, right? Precious Scotty, Pascal, OG, even Chris. And, we got some kind of depth, and that usually enables us to move those guys around a little bit, switch. We don't really care about the switching and who's matched up on who some. Gives us a chance sometimes to put some size on some what you would call bigger guards that usually like take advantage of guys they're bigger than, but we can keep some size on them too. But it's there's a lot going on. It's a tremendous challenge. You gotta stay with it. You gotta really play it for the whole game. You gotta not get discouraged because there's gonna be a stretch when those guys will make 3 or 4 really tough threes on you, and you just gotta take it out and keep going and keep trying to fight through the whole game defensively with them.
These are, so long as you have a chance to move up in the standings, these are pretty close to must-win games. Do you shorten the bench at all? You're already at 8 or 9. Do you go to 7? Do you treat it like a playoff game?
Like 4 guys?
Listen, I think that you're right in the fact that we're going to play our main guys, and to keep it fairly short in general, I think. That means probably getting shorter as well as we go here. A little bit of consideration that it's a back-to-back. You got to think about that a little bit. You say, they're on 1-2, but we're worried about our guys and their condition or health or wherever they're at from last night. So I think it's probably a little bit longer than maybe we'd see. I don't know, maybe the next game.
Do you guys feel you're playing or approaching sort of a playoff level sort of intensity preparation focus, just
Yep.
because it's kind of like a
Yep.
pennant race here, right?
Yeah, I think our guys have been really focused and good, and yeah, I think the connection is getting stronger all the time. Connectivity's pretty good. They're playing at both ends. I think they're trying to get the ball where it needs to go on offense, or where it should go, I should say. And yeah, I think so.
Is that the mentality you want, or what mentality do you want down the line as you guys are kind of
Yeah.
jockeying for position?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're just trying to continue to play better and reach our potential, right? And I think that for us, we understand we're kind of a hard-working defense-first team, and we got to go bring that. You know, people call it playoff mentality. Well, that's what we got to be. You know, any night of the year. Really, no matter who we're playing or where we're playing, and if we do that, right, we got a chance to beat anybody. We understand that too, and if we don't, the reverse is true too, right? So, yeah, we've got to guard, and we got to play physical, and we got to play tough, and if we can do that, we always have a good chance. Give ourselves a good chance.
How do you approach these late season games when you're facing teams that you could potentially see in the playoffs?
Yeah, I don't think we have much luxury to say, let's just play them straight up tonight because we might see them in the playoff. We don't listen, it gets discussed. That same question gets discussed in the morning meeting, and we feel like we got to throw our best game plan out there, period. And then we're going to try to do that tonight.
The Celtics depth is such, like, a lot of times teams will be sitting out one or two starters or whatever. But it doesn't seem to, Celtics just seems like one of those teams that doesn't seem to matter too much.
Yeah, and I know exactly what you mean, because you turn on one night and they got a group plan or group start, and you turn on the next and it's 3 guys in, 3 guys out, similar to probably what it's going to look like tonight. I think they've got a lot of practice at that, right? I think like when we did it when we had Kawhi sitting out a lot, I think early on people were like, what the heck's going on here? They don't have Kawhi, they don't have and then all of a sudden we're 20 games into it and you were like, you barely even talked about it, because the key team kind of got used to it and adjusts, and the other players kind of knew when things would adjust for them, just like a one-off, like who take up the slack? Well, you don't know early on, but you do know when you've kind of gotten used to it. So I think that's kind of where they are.
It seems like you love the position of no one talking about you guys. You've come here for years, and hey, we're just trying to win a ball game, but you actually love your team, but no one's talking about you, and you seem to be very comfortable and kind of in that position.
Yeah, I think that we have played a lot better basketball. We had a span of 15 games that I don't want to even think about this year, right? So, but I'd say since February 1, we've played solid ball, at times really good. The defensive numbers have shown that we've been really good as well. On top of that, not that matters, but I think it's a pretty good indicator of connection and how your chemistry and how you're playing. I think, for us to really hit another level, I think our shot making still has to get a little better. I think we're creating really good shots for guys that are pretty good historical shooters, and those that still has some room to go up. And I think defensive effort stays the same. Our creating turnovers, getting offensive rebounds and stuff stays similar, which and limiting our turnovers, which is another thing. So that's probably our area to even play better, and we got to stay healthy, right? Just like everybody, we got to stay healthy.
On the offensive front, the last 2 games in particular, does that kind of give you some hope that can settle quicker?
Yeah, I think those 2 games are a really good snapshot of it, right? We couldn't throw one in for anything in game 1, and we talked about it, all of us, the last few days that were spring breaking in Charlotte, right? We talked about how even though we didn't make very many in game 1, that we kept creating the right way. There were tons of 2-pass combo, wide open catch and shoot shots, and and I even talked to the team about it. I said, we probably left 20 points on the board tonight because we didn't, but that's what we gotta do, just keep creating them. And then what happened the next night, we made, 15 threes. They did keep doing the same thing, and they went in, right? And like we said, we talked Will Barton into making some in the press conference before the game, and there we go.
Was Scotty's night the other night just an aberration? You feel like anything he didn't do that you need to see more of?
Well, he had such a good night the night before, and really a physical play, and we even kind of sat down and looked at some of those really good drives he was making and stuff, and like I always said, do more of this. But he didn't go in there and play very physical the other night for whatever reason. He did have he did miss practice with a illness in between, so maybe he wasn't feeling that good. So it's probably more of that than anything else.
How's he feeling tonight?
I haven't talked to him
taken his
yet,
temperature.
but no, he looked great at walkthrough today, though. Looked awesome. We're good?
Thanks, everybody.
All right, enjoy the game. Yep.